Alright, today we're going to look at how to do a hand poured mold. I've done the video on how to do an injection poured mold, and this is going to be a little different. There are three basic types of molds you can work with. One is the plaster of Paris mold, and here's an example of that right here. What you do there is you just fill a container with the plaster of Paris and you wait till it starts to harden a little bit, and you push down your bait into the plaster of Paris and you create a mold, and that right there is a 4-inch fat worm. The other way you can do it is you can buy liquid silicone, which is quite expensive, but it makes really good molds. This one here is a liquid silicone mold that I made. This is a 6-inch fat worm. In fact, here are the worms I made with it. These are the Carolina pumpkin fat worms. They come out really good. So you can buy the liquid silicone if there's a bait you just love and make your own molds that way. For the liquid silicone, you're going to glue your bait to the bottom of the container and pour the silicone over the top of it. And it makes pretty good molds. But the best way to do it is to just buy the molds already done, and that's what these are here. These are the molds I'm working with today. We're going to do some hand pours here in just a few seconds. Hand pours in some ways are easier, in some ways they're harder. It takes a little more skill to get that pour perfectly in there, but you're not dealing with the injector and the injection molds, so it's nice that way. The problem with the hand poured molds is you're going to have a flat side, so make sure it's a bait you don't mind having a flat side with. There's tons of them out there. It doesn't work so great with craws and creature baits, but it's great for worms and things like that. So we're going to go ahead and pour some of those today. Okay, for hand poured mold, it's a lot like the injection mold. You're going to need your Plastisol. And again, I'm working with this 2.5 gallon Bears Baits Plastisol here. You're going to want to shake it real good. You want to get all the hardener mixed around in there. I use a Pyrex cup to pour it into. Today I'm going to actually make a half a cup. A lot of times I'll just work with 1/4 of a cup on this. But today I want to make quite a few molds, quite a few baits. And I'll take that and I'm going to pop that into the microwave. Microwave that for 2 minutes. And again, just like the injection mold, I'm using a pouring pot. And I've got my little stove I picked up from Walgreens, pretty cheap, usually they're under 20 bucks. And I'm going to use that to heat it and keep it to the consistency I want. You want it real liquidy so you can pour it into the molds. Now normally, once again, when you're pouring molds, you're going to want to use a respirator or something just to protect your face. It's a lot of really bad fumes you get from this stuff. So I wear the respirator, I wear the goggles, usually I'll wear the gloves as well. Okay, the Plastisol's ready. I put it in for 2 minutes. It's not fully broken down yet, but it's most of the way there. At this point, I'm going to take that and put it into my pouring pot. Again, this stuff is super hot, so you want to wear your protective gear. I'm not today, just for the sake of this video. I'm going to try to get as much of that out of there as I can. Okay, once I get the Plastisol going here, it's going to need to heat up quite a bit more, but now I'm ready to add my colorants. And it's real important to have some kind of a recipe going before you start. You want to make sure you have the right amount of color, the right amount of flake in there. For this particular bait I'm pouring, I'm going to put in some purple. And some black flake. And I also want a little bit of silver. Okay. Now it's just a matter of waiting for that to heat up. Okay, I've been heating this up for a little while. It's now to the consistency I want it to be at. It's ready to be poured. Again, you want it to be pretty liquidy. I'm going to move this down so you can kind of get a feel for what the pour is. So you fill the nose, let it fill completely, and then follow the channel right down to the tail. That is a really good pour. Let it work down to the tail. And these smaller worms, it's a lot harder. You got to be real precise just to make sure everything gets right there in the channel where you want it.
Not too bad, a little sloppy, but not too bad. Again, you start at the nose, work your way slowly down the channel. The smaller the bait, the tougher it is, and this is a real small bait here. Okay, so I got 4 of the 5, and again I would just keep on going. I'd fill all of these, but I am going to stop after this one. This plastic is just a little too thick still. There you can see the 5 cavities are full. You take some salt the top of them. And you're going to let them sit there for about, I don't know, 3 to 4 minutes. Let them firm up a little bit, and then you pull them out of the mold. I always start from the tail to the top. We're going to give it a few more seconds here. Alright, let's take a look at our bait. So you grab it from the tail, pull it on out, and there you go. That right there is a stinger shad. Put that over here on my drying tray. That looks really good. Again, take another one out of there. Get an idea of what they look like. There's the stinger shad. When you're done, you're going to go back and trim each one of these. All the excess plastic I trim off with the razor blade. There you go. Another stinger shad. And I will bring the camera over to look at the tray when I got them all in. Kind of see it there. Yeah, these are looking really good. Last one here. Alright, here's what they look like. They haven't been trimmed yet. You can kind of get a feel for what they look like. They'll get trimmed up before they're ready to go. So that's it. That's how you do a hand pour. It's pretty easy. Again, heat the plastisol in the microwave, get it started, throw it in the pot, stir it up, add your colorant, add your flake, get it down to a pretty liquidy consistency, and then pour it into your molds. Let it sit in the mold for about 3 to 4 minutes till it firms up. I add salt to the top of these particular baits, and then they're ready to go. Alright, I'm going to end this video. I want to fill the rest of these up, but I do want to wear my protective gear. I'm going to put the respirator on and the goggles. Again, if you pour this stuff, you want to wear the safety gear. This stuff is really, really hot. You don't want to burn yourself.